Hello everyone. Today we're going to be doing a class that's focused on shoulders, chest, and a little bit of hip flexors. And we're going to do a bit more of a slow flow, not as many sun salutations as maybe a full length class would include. So we're going to get started in a child's pose. I invite you to make your way into child's pose. So bringing the big toes to touch, and the knees can be either hips distance or as wide as the mat. So hips to heels, we'll start to walk the hands out in front of us, really getting some nice length through the spine before we soften the shoulders and the forehead down towards the earth. Finding a comfortable position here, making any adjustments you might need. We're going to be here for a few moments as we take some time to check in. Starting to notice the quality of your breath. Noticing the inhales, noticing what might expand. Maybe the belly, maybe the chest. And noticing the exhales. Maybe feeling that warm air leaving the nose. Not trying to change anything, just observing. Maybe noticing the parts of your body that are making contact with the earth beneath you, and letting them sink down a little bit more. And then when you're ready, you can start to invite a deeper inhale, inviting the breath all the way down to the belly, maybe noticing the low back expand. Exhaling fully, belly to spine, getting rid of all the air. Deep inhale. Maybe this time feeling the low belly and the lungs, the low back and the upper back. Exhaling to release fully. Maybe finding some softness in the shoulders, the hips, the end of the breath. A couple more like this. Taking intentional inhales and long intentional exhales. Beautiful. When you're ready, on your next inhale, lift the chest and head. Start to walk the hands over to the right side of the mat. And exhale, lower down, forehead to mat. Finding a stretch through the left side of the body. Keep allowing that left sits bone to sink down towards the heel. And the left shoulder can soften towards the floor. Breathing into the left side of the body. Lovely. On your next inhale, start to lift up again. This time walking the hands all the way over to the left side of the mat and sinking down to the earth, forehead to floor. Right hip and right shoulder can soften. On your next inhale, rising up, coming back to center, and we'll make our way up into a tabletop position. Starting with a few cat-cows. So take an inhale here to lengthen. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, ground the spine up to the sky, pressing the earth away with the hands and spreading to the shoulder blades. Head and neck hang heavy. Inhale, tailbone lifts, belly drops. Chest shines forward, maybe gazing towards the front of your mat or up towards the sky. Exhale to cat, press the earth away. Inhale to cow. Moving with your breath here, we'll take 3 rounds at your own pace, really feeling into the spine, noticing how it feels today. All right, at the end of your third round, we'll meet back in tabletop. Straighten that right leg out behind you, tips of the toes. Tuck the tailbone under, really engage the core, draw the belly to spine, and we'll lift the leg up behind you. Press out through the heel, toes face towards the earth. Take an inhale here, really lengthen from heel to the crown of the head. And then exhale, tuck the tailbone, ground the spine, draw the knee towards the chest, press the earth away with the hands. This is very similar to the cat we were just in. Inhale, straighten the leg out, long neutral spine, find length. Exhale, knee to chest, nose to chin. Nose to knee. Inhale, straighten, one more with your breath. And release the right side. We'll move to the left this time. So left leg straightens out behind you, left toes to the earth, and then lift the leg so it's parallel to the mat. Press out the heel. Lengthen it through the crown of the head. Zip up through the belly. Take a nice inhale here to lengthen. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, curl the spine to the sky, knee to chest or nose. Inhale, straighten and lengthen. Two more with your breath. And release to your table. Getting into the shoulders here. With your inhale, reach the right arm up to the sky. Maybe the gaze follows the thumb if it's comfortable on your neck. Exhale, release the arm. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, release. Inhale, reach. And exhale to thread the needle so the right arm comes under the left, out to the left side, and dropping down onto the right shoulder and right ear. Allow the hips to shift up and back, pulling weight up and away so we're not collapsing down into the shoulder and neck. So option to keep that left hand on the ground in front of your face, or option to bring it up to the low back, or maybe you wrap it around to the right leg. One more round of breath here. When you're ready, planting that left hand back on the ground and pressing up to your tabletop. We'll move to the other side. So with your inhale, left arm sweeps to the sky. Exhale, release. Two more with your breath. Inhale. After your second one, we'll thread the needle. Left arm comes under right, reaches out to the right side, and dropping left shoulder and ear onto the ground. Finding that lift up and back through the hips. And then taking the arm variation of your choice. We'll spend a couple rounds of breath here. When you're ready, bringing that right hand back to the earth, pressing up to your tabletop. Beautiful. Let's take the left leg, foot out to the left side, kickstanding it, straighten through the right leg, press down and out into that outer edge of the right foot. Right arm reaches up to the sky, and then allow yourself to twist open so the right arm falls back behind you, finding a nice stretch through the chest. And then right arm reaches up and overhead, finding a beautiful side stretch down the right side of the body. Keep pressing into the outer edge of the right foot and reaching through the right fingertips. Making your way back to your tabletop. We'll find the same stretch on the other side. So kickstand the right foot out to the right, straighten that left leg, reach the left arm up to the sky. And then allow the right arm to just fall back behind you, finding a stretch through the left shoulder. I should say left chest. And then reach the left arm up and overhead, palm faces towards the earth. Press the floor away with the right knee and right hand. And you can just feel like you're bananaing over your bottom arm and knee. And coming back to table, planting that left hand and left knee on the earth. We're going to find puppy pose. It's a nice prep pose for down dog and to find length through the spine. So walk the knees back and hands forward towards the front of the mat. I like to keep the hands a little bit wider than shoulder width because sometimes this can kind of jam up my shoulders. And then once hips are over knees, we'll allow the forehead to soften down towards the mat. So forehead lands on the mat. Keep pressing into the hands and lifting up and back through the hips. Notice if the lower ribs are dropping. See if you can zip them up and back towards the pubic bone. Allow the chest to soften. Really focusing on the lengthening through the spine by drawing the hips up and back. Beautiful. On your next inhale, press into the hands to rise up, making your way back towards your tabletop. And we're moving into our downward dog. So tucking the toes, hands are about shoulder widths apart or wider, spreading through the fingers. Press all fingers, knuckles into the earth. And then when you're ready, start to lift the hips up and back into your first downward dog. So taking a moment to notice how you feel here. Maybe your hamstrings are tight or your calves are tight, and you might choose to take a bit of a bend into the knees if that's the case. See if we can find that lengthening quality that we just found in puppy pose by pressing the hands into the earth and lifting the hips up and back, lengthening through the spine. And when you're ready, starting to walk the feet up, tiptoe, tiptoe to meet the hands. And we'll find ragdoll here. So keeping a nice deep bend in the knees, allow the belly to rest on the thighs, head, neck, shoulders, all hang loose down towards the earth. Allow the low back to soften. Keeping that deep bend in the knees. On your next inhale, start to slowly roll up, stacking vertebrae by vertebrae until you come to stand. And finding your Tadasana pose. Mountain pose. Standing up tall, strong, active. Beautiful. Bringing the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers. We're going to press the hands down towards the earth behind us, down towards our heels, allowing the chest to lift up and broaden. Breathing into the chest. Beautiful. Releasing this. Bringing the hands this time out in front of you, interlacing the fingers, but keeping the index fingers pointed. We're going to straighten our arms out in front of us. Reach the fingertips away as we curve into the upper back. Allow the head and neck to hang between the arms. So we're really focusing on curving the upper back, spreading the shoulder blades, pressing out the upper spine. And you can imagine sending the breath in between the shoulder blades. With each inhale, expanding, and on the exhale, softening. And releasing this. Coming back to Tadasana, we'll start to move through our first sun salutation. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky, palms face up. Exhale, hinge at the hips to dive forward, leading with the chest. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine, hands come to shins or thighs or the floor. Exhale, step it back to plank and make your way down to the mat, maybe moving through knees to the floor to get there. We're going to take a modified cobra here. Arms come to the sides. We're actually going to find our Superman pose. So inhale, lift the chest, lift the arms, squeeze the shoulder blades together and back and down as you reach the fingertips towards the heels. Beautiful. Then Bringing the hands under the shoulders. Keep that squeezing quality between the shoulder blades as you plant the hands. Press the hands into the earth, lift the chest. Exhale, release. Let's find our Sphinx pose. So bringing the arms out in front of you, elbows under shoulders, and forearms parallel to one another. Press the elbows into the earth to lift the chest up. And drag them back towards the hips to draw the chest forward. Beautiful. One more inhale here. Exhale to release. Plant the hands under the shoulders. Tuck the toes. Find your way to downward dog. Either moving through table to get there or moving right into your down dog. On your inhale, lift the right leg up and back. Toes face down. Press out the heel. Exhale. Knee to nose. Round the spine. Press out the hands and step that right foot up between the hands. Beautiful. Back knee drops. Inhale to lift up to your low lunge. We're going to keep moving here. So with your inhale, spread the arms like you're flying. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lift through the chest. Exhale. We're going to find that same arm position we were just in when we were standing. Interlace the fingers. Index fingers point round the spine. Inhale. Spread the arms broad. Broaden through the chest. Exhale to point the fingers and curve the spine. One more with your breath. Inhale. Beautiful. Release the hands on either side of the front foot and step it back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts up and back. Exhale, curve the spine, knee to nose. Step the left foot up between the hands. Back knee drops. Inhale, rise up. We keep moving here. Spread the arms nice and wide. Squeeze the shoulder blades together as you broaden across the chest. Exhale, fingers interlace. Point the index fingers, curve the spine. You know the drill. 2 more like this, moving with your breath. And then landing the hands on either side of the front foot. Finding your way back to your downward facing dog. Couple rounds of breath in downward dog here. I'm just going to check my class plan. All right, dropping to the knees. And coming to sit back on the heels. Keep the toes tucked and just check that every toe is tucked from your big toe to your pinky toe. And then when you're ready, I'm just going to turn to face you. We're going to reach the right arm up to the sky with the thumb faced behind us. And then we're going to reach and bend into the elbow. Plant your right hand on the back of your neck. And then the left arm is going to sweep behind us and try to grab for the right hand. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like from behind. We're clasping the hands in the back. Now, if that is out of reach for you, that's perfectly okay. You can grab a strap and use the strap to close that gap. And then once you have your grasp, start to reach the elbows away from each other. You can imagine reaching the elbows away from each other. Allow the shoulders to soften. One more round of breath. And release. We'll take a little break off the toes. So coming to tabletop, untuck the toes. Give your toes a nice little tap. Tap, tap, tap. Maybe wiggle them out. And we'll do that on the other side. So tuck the toes again, big toe all the way to pinky toe, and then sitting back on the toes. This time left arm reaches up to the sky, thumb points back, bend into the elbow. Right arm reaches back behind you to grasp oh my goodness, clasp the hands, or using a strap, or a sock works too, or a scarf, or a shirt, whatever you have handy to close that gap. One more round of breath. Beautiful. Release the hands. Come back to your tabletop. Untuck the toes. Give them a nice little tap, tap, tap. Lovely. All right. If you have blocks, you might need them for this part. We're going to move into a back bend, a camel pose. So if you know you need blocks, setting them up on either side, just beside the feet on each side of you. And then we're going to come to sit up on our knees. Toes are tucked. So a couple options here. First option, hands come onto your low back with the fingertips pointing up. And you're just going to press down into your low back as you lift the chest, squeezing the elbows towards one another. Keep the chin tucked, back of neck long. Maybe this is enough. Maybe you're thinking this feels great. This is a beautiful stretch for my chest, the front of my body. I'm going to stay here. If you feel like you need to go a little deeper, option to place the hands on your blocks behind you. Or option to place the hands on the heels. And keep lifting the chest up, squeezing the shoulder blades slightly. One more round of breath. And then slowly coming out, bringing the hands back to the low back. Shifting forward and taking a seat on your heels. You can untuck the toes. And just taking a moment here to notice how this back bend landed in your body. Allow the right ear to fall to the right shoulder. Finding a stretch to the left side of the neck. Coming back to center, left ear to left shoulder. And back to center. We'll walk the hands out forward. Coming up to the toes of the left foot. Shimmy that right knee forward, finding a pigeon pose. The right knee lands just behind the right wrist. And the shin can be either on a 90-degree angle or, even a 45-degree angle if your hips, your glutes are feeling particularly tight. Allow the hips to sink to the earth. And maybe this is enough for you. You're already feeling a glute stretch here. Glute stretch, or maybe you start to come down onto your forearms or onto blocks, or maybe all the way down to the mat. And we'll take about 5 rounds of breath here as we start to slow down our practice. And reconnecting with the breath if you've lost that connection. Inhaling, noticing the breath traveling all the way down the back, into the low back. Maybe even imagining that it fills that right glute up. And on every exhale, allowing yourself to soften, maybe just a little bit more. Shoulders can relax. The jaw can unhinge. When you're ready, starting to make your way back up onto your hands. And we'll just shift that right foot, that right leg back to meet the left. Come up onto the right tiptoes and draw the left knee forward behind the left wrist. Sinking the hips down, finding your variation of pigeon here. So maybe you stay up on the hands, or maybe you come down onto the forearms, or maybe all the way down, forehead to floor. And take 5 rounds of breath here. Each exhale, can you find just 1% more softening? When you're ready, starting to make your way back up to the hands. We'll just shimmy over onto the left hip and make our way down onto our back. Getting there in whatever way feels good for you. We're going to take a waterfall pose. So bringing the heels up to the hips. Option to just raise the legs like this, or option to put a block under the hips, which can feel really nice. So to do so, just lifting the hips up, placing that block under your hips. And you don't want it to be too low here, like not under the tailbone, but up more under the, oh my goodness, I'm totally losing what the word is for this bone that you want to put. The triangular bone at the bottom of your back. So not your low back, but just below. And then from here, lifting the legs up to the sky and finding a place where you can just balance, where there's a sense of effortlessness and ease for the legs. Option to also place the legs up a wall for this if you don't have a block. And then arms can be at your sides or maybe out to a T, choosing whatever variation feels good for you here. Spend one more round of breath here. And when you're ready, releasing the feet back to the ground. If you have a block under the hips, you can pick them up and remove the block. Drawing the knees into the chest, giving yourself a nice hug. Maybe rocking a little bit side to side. Then we'll just take a side stretch as our last pose before Savasana. So dropping the legs back, the feet back to the earth, cross the left leg over the right, shimmy the hips to the left a few inches, and then allow the knees to fall to the right. Maybe they land on the earth, or maybe you put a block under the knees. And then arms come out to a T. Allow the shoulders to soften. Feel that left shoulder melting down towards the mat. Bringing the knees back up to center, uncrossing the legs, shimmy the hips back to neutral. We'll cross right leg over left this time. Pick the hips up, move them a few inches to the right, and let the knees fall to the left. Arms are still in a T. Allowing the breath to deepen on every inhale and lengthen with every exhale. Noticing where you might still be holding on to any tension. Allowing it to let go. Drawing the knees back up to center. We'll uncross the legs, finding that neutral spine. Start to straighten the legs out, making your way into your Shavasana. Arms can stay out wide, or maybe they come alongside the body. Taking any last adjustments you need here, maybe wiggling the shoulders underneath the back, shifting the hips, and then finding a place of stillness. Noticing the earth beneath you, just feeling all the places where your body is contacting the earth or the floor. And allowing the top of the body to melt down to meet the back. Feeling your support. I invite you to stay in your Shavasana for a few minutes, or as long as you have today. You can pause the video here and I will guide you out of Shavasana if you are ready to come out. So starting to find a little bit of movement in the fingers and toes and the wrists and ankles. Maybe taking a nice big stretch up overhead with the arms. And then making your way into a fetal position, moving to whichever side feels good for you. And then making your way back up to a seated position. And once you're there, taking a moment to check in with yourself. Noticing how you feel after this practice. Maybe bringing to mind one word to describe how you're feeling. And then when you're ready, thanking yourself for showing up today. I want to thank you for showing up today as well and for practicing with me. I hope to see you again on the mat soon.